Known to be a bit of a slut, yeah.
And there was someone over here that had a question still? That one was highly entertaining.
Somebody open up a bad can of worms.
Yeah, this will be a little bit better. I've read enough of your books to know that you lived and grew up in Winnipeg. I'd like to know if you miss it living in Vancouver.
Do I what?
Do you miss Winnipeg?
You know, there's things, a lot of things I do like about Winnipeg, but the winters and the mosquitoes, you know, I really think,
so bad this year.
I heard you guys had a miserable summer. I watched the weather reports. You guys had a shitty summer here. I know about that. I think it was too cold for the mosquitoes. Yeah, September rocked, yeah. You know, I like to visit Winnipeg, I do, but you know, there's things about Vancouver that they inspire me to be alive. I mean, like when I see the mountains and the ocean and stuff, you know, it stops me from being depressed. You know, Winnipeg, you know, it's just gray and icy and shit. You know, I start to feel a little bummed out for no reason. You know? Vancouver has a lot of problems. It really does. You know, I'll never be able to own a house. You know. There's idiot politicians, you know, that really bad homelessness and addiction problems. You know, that shit hurts me. I see people like, you know, they block off areas under the bridges. They're fenced off. The homeless people can't even go under them. You know, there's like a war on the poor happening there. You know, and it's brutal.
What makes you so willing to do these interviews and share your personal life with all these people?
What made me want to share my personal life? If I know, I think I wrote about that stuff because that's really the only thing I could think to write about. I mean, I'm not Jonathan Grisham. I couldn't write about spy novels, you know. I'll just write about this. I think maybe because, you know, sometimes I would listen to, when people get around and there's a lot of drunken bullshit flying, and you hear some good stories, you know. And I like writing about those kind of drunken stories, you know. Hell, I don't know.
Thank you. Here, another question for you.
Hey Chris, how, on your level where you're living in Vancouver, how are the preparations for the Olympics hitting you and your folks where you live?
Oh, cry. Well, they haven't really affected me personally, but it's been really bad for anybody living in the downtown east side. You know, they've closed a lot of places. The government's actually opened a few new hotels, but it seems like for every one they open, they're losing two. And just the police preparation is crazy. I mean, I was walking my son to school, and I came back. Actually, he was with me, and they had the whole bridge was blocked off. They had, like, you know, a SWAT team out there, and guys were rappelling over. They were practicing, right, for the Olympics. They had like all these black paramilitary guys. There's helicopters going over the cities. They got this cannon, this sound cannon that fires like this high frequency waves to disrupt crowds. I mean, it's scary. I mean, they passed this new law. They can just walk into your house and take away any logos that aren't sponsored by the Olympics. It's just like a police state. It's just awful.
Thanks. Does anyone else have any more questions for Chris? Yeah. Reprise your question. Sure. Here we go.
Hey Chris, if you're so punk rock, how come you're not in any more bands anymore?
How come? Because I'm a horrible musician. I could not do it. I tried. You know, I was a chord banger at best, and everybody I knew could play guitar better than me. You know.
No one can play a circular saw like him.
I was pretty good with a circular saw, yeah.
Hey Chris, can we expect any more books from Frank?
Oh, of course. Let's ask Frank himself. Any more books, Frank?
Yes. Yes.
Frank, what's your next book going to be about? Frank, what's your next book going to be about?
I want to keep it a secret.
Excellent marketing. Here we go.
stories, and I think we all obviously enjoy them. They're very relatable. But do you think it's ever going to get boring and formulaic at a certain point?
What was the question?
Do you think writing these drunken stories is ever going to get formulaic and boring for you at a certain point? And you're gonna
it's hard to keep it fresh. It's true. Like, it is.
I'm not trying to bust your balls. It's serious. Like,
No. And sometimes I think I wish I could just write East Bend over and over again, and I can't. I think probably that's why I'm starting to do the biographies, because it's, it mixes it up a bit, right? And it's a challenge to keep things fresh. I don't know if some books turn out better than others as far as, in my head, the way I want them to be, the way I see them. And it's a challenge.
Well, thanks a lot. Do we have time for one more? One more question. Anyone who wants to ask Chris Walter a question? Okay. A question though, sir. Thank you very much.
Chris, would you ever write a story that's totally happy through the whole thing, or would you just stick to the Homer Keyes side and just be like...
Would I write a what?
A totally happy book. Like a book that makes someone smile and everything. Through the whole thing. No more side going, you know what I mean?
Christ, man. Who want to read that?
I don't know, anybody.
No. Thanks for everybody for coming out here. It's always good to have some dysfunctional notes.
Thanks for the questions. This is CKUW.